Welcome back, everybody. This is Image Bearers with Lacey Connor. Today we have the beautiful Christina. But before we start, I will say a little prayer just to help with our anxiety and just to start this podcast off
Amen.
right. All right. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day. We thank you for the weather now that it's getting a little colder and we're allowed to wear our sweaters, Lord, and cozy and bundle up. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the people listening to this podcast right now. We don't know what they're going through, but you do, God. You know every single one of us, and you are with us. No matter where we go, you are with us. Even if we have all the burdens, Lord, please may you lift them up. May the people listening to this, may they feel blessed. May they know that they're made in your image, Lord, and that through that, Lord, they have dignity and worth that only that they know and you know, and that they are worth something, Lord. Give them guidance, give them wisdom, give them strength to make it through the day and to the next day, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, man. All right. Christina, how are you, girl?
I'm good, girl.
You good?
You good?
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah, same here.
So everyone, this is Christina. I have, she is my sister's best friend's sister. So if you guys have listened to the first season, Laura, this is Laura's sister. So without further ado, Christina, tell us about yourself.
Okay, I am 42.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
You look good.
I
You
know.
go,
Look
girl.
about 30.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
No, I'm 42 and I have a 12-year-old daughter. I actually am I'm in recovery. I don't say I'm a recovering addict. I just say I'm in recovery because I'm recovered through Jesus Christ. And that's good.
Yeah. Keep going,
And
girlfriend.
let's see. And I'm in school at Ivy Tech to become an addiction therapist. And I work at Wheeler Mission. And I'm actually,
What part of Wheeler Mission?
it's actually a store on 96th Street.
All right.
Have you
Yeah,
ever-
no,
Yeah,
totally. It
yeah.
used to be, was it like Staples or
Yes.
something?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I work in the back in the warehouse, but I like it there. But I'm trying to find somewhere in the addiction field, like
Right.
as a case manager. That's why I'm trying to get all these degrees so I can
Get all these,
Yeah.
get all this education.
I
Now that-
am. I'm in another program. I'm trying to get a CHW certificate, and that's a community health worker. It's just another way to get in as a case manager. So
Okay.
that's what I'm trying to do right now. And I'm 30 years recovering. I have 28 months clean. And yeah, I'm just.
That's good. Sorry, I'm trying to do, I'm not the best at mathing, but that's about over 2 years.
Over 2 years, yeah.
Ah, that's
yeah. I
good.
just celebrated
Wow.
28 months like 5 days ago.
So with that, do you celebrate like when you first started? Probably it was like every day and then every week. And
Yeah.
stuff.
I
Do you-
don't like celebrate, but I mentally celebrate. Just thank Jesus for another month down. I mean, you can be thankful for another day down.
Yeah.
But I'm to it where I'm another month because I'm shooting for the 30 months right now.
Okay.
And then when I get there, I'll probably shoot for the next,
Right. So
But
that's how it goes.
it's just different milestones,
Right. That's a big accomplishment.
Yes, it is.
You go, girl.
I know.
Oh, I love that for you.
Yeah, I love it too. There's some freedom in that.
Right?
I
I
mean,
bet
serious.
so.
Yeah.
All right. It just blows my mind. I was just telling the videographer before you got here how I have since I do have a sister who is in addiction still, but it just blows my mind because addicts is just I love having you guys on because it's this is this is something you're going to struggle with. And this is a little extreme, but everyone struggles with something.
Right.
And it's just so redeeming, so much purpose. And when people do recover or continues to recover,
Yes,
they're
yeah.
never out of it.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to just to have people on like this, it gives people hope, even if they're not, struggling with drugs, there's something else someone's struggling with.
Yeah. And I know from being in addiction, you are hopeless in addiction.
Yeah.
You totally you don't think there's a way out.
All right.
You don't think there's a way out. You think everyone hates you. You're being judged. You don't want to speak with anyone. But I'm going to tell you what, there is freedom and there is a way out.
Right.
It took me going to prison. That's how a second time.
Right.
And I don't know. I just found the Lord, and and I changed hanging around all old people.
Right.
Not one of them. Do I miss some of them? Yes, but I want a different life, you
Right.
know?
And I think people, even that are addicts, like the people that you said you miss, like you miss them 'cause you miss them for the person they were. I mean,
Yes.
are
I
and
mean, we
stuff.
had good time.
Yeah.
We had a bond in that addiction. You know,
Yeah.
some of them people I hung out with for 25 years. I've mourned them. I
Mhm.
miss them. I wish them the best. And if they ever called me and wanted me to help them get clean, you better believe I'm going to help give them resources.
Right.
But while they're in active addiction, that's what I kept doing the last 50,000 times is thinking they're going to change or I can change them or I can fix them. And guess
Mhm.
what? I'd end up right back down in the trenches with them
Right.
every time.
I feel like that's not, I mean, like, I feel like that's applicable to, like, any kind of stuff, like, not just addiction and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
just life
It's
and what
negative and
people. Yeah.
positive. Yes, it
Right.
changes your life. Like I surround myself with you know, a lot of people from my church and
Mhm.
ever since I got out, they've taken me in and they helped me get a car. I mean, they've just helped me be a better me.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
like, think if I would have got out and been around negative people,
Yeah.
not even people in addiction, just people that don't want what's the best for me.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder where I'd be right now.
Right. No,
I,
that's so true.
you know, mentally, it's
Mhm.
all to me. It's all about your mental, where you're going to be mentally.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah,
I mean, I would agree 100% that that's really good
yeah,
with that. But yeah, yeah, no, that is awesome because I feel like it is like mentally, like if you can overcome those
yep.
negative talk that,
Yes,
I mean, I
that
think, I
you're
mean,
worthless or
yeah.
you're never going to change because that's all that
And
used to
it's hard to
replay.
do it.
It
It's hard.
is.
Legit. It's like
Yeah.
especially when you first decide to do
Oh,
it.
if I wouldn't have went to prison, I'm going to be honest,
Mhm.
I would not have been able to do it.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with like meth and heroin and hard drugs like that, you can't just quit.
Mhm.
I don't care what anyone says. If they say they just quit cold turkey, that's just not true. Therapist or Jesus,
Right.
you know, that can be your
Definitely, yes.
therapist. But I still feel like, you know, you still need more intense therapy, not just Jesus. You need to get into a rehab.
Right.
It took me to go to prison, but I had that full 15 months to find myself, to really self-reflect
Mhm.
and you know and just was away from everybody. I
Right.
just was in isolation, but I just could self-help, just figure out what I was going to do, you
Right.
know.
It's so crazy. You look at before, probably you felt that when you second time you went to jail, you're like, "Ah, this is horrible." But then, like,
Yeah,
the Lord
never going to do
still
it again.
He was kind to you, and during this time, it sucked, but
I've been to jail probably 20 times. I've been to prison twice, but
right,
jail, we're not going to go there. I've
right,
been there so many times. It's just, it's pathetic. It
right,
shows you I was in addiction because there's no logical, it's just not
all
logical
right,
as many times as I've been in and out of the system.
all right. I know, right?
It's horrible, man.
It's
It
horrible.
is just,
Christina's like, ah,
oh,
but
yeah. It's okay, though. I
with all
mean,
your pain, now a
yes,
purpose, and with all that mess, you have
yes.
a message now.
Yeah,
Now you're
and that
sitting here with me,
pain is now my purpose.
right?
That pain is not pain anymore because, I mean, it can be pain,
Oh yeah.
but I can't mentally let it
Mm-hmm.
become pain because that's what defeats you, you
Yeah.
know? And that's what I used to do. I'd let the pain defeat me and then I'd go back to the addiction
Yeah.
because I didn't want to feel the pain.
Yeah.
Now I take the pain, look it straight on, and figure out a way to fix it, you know?
Right.
Okay, well, we're not going to go back to addiction. What's that going to do? Send you back to prison. And I'll go back for 7 years.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that again.
I don't want you
It's
to
not-
either.
yeah,
No, thank you.
no, I'm not letting
No.
him take no more of me from my
It's
daughter, my
right.
family, you know?
It's just crazy. Like, what brought you to making that, like, okay, my pain, I'm no longer going to go back to this. Like, what was that turning point?
Sitting in prison
Or was it?
on my bunk. Yeah. And just, again, missing my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a pain that you'll never, if you've never experienced it. I mean, I can barely talk about that pain because that's a pain that doesn't go away
Mm-hmm.
when you leave your child
Right.
because of your selfish ways again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
And you love your child. I love her with all my heart, but the love wasn't enough from the addiction.
Yeah.
But when I sat in there that final time, and I just sat there, and I don't even know what it was. I
Right.
just said, I'm done.
It was the Lord,
It was
I
just,
guess.
yes. I mean, I was reading every day. He was just speaking to me like,
Mhm.
you can't do this to your life
Right.
anymore. And I set a bunch of goals, and I've done every single thing that I said I was going to do when I got out.
Uh-huh.
And I've done it, and I've stayed clean because I'm doing it totally different than I've ever done it before.
Yeah.
You know, I guess. I mean, I think that's the answer.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds good to me.
Just
I'm
tired of
taking it.
being tired. What is the saying? Tired of being sick and tired. Sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Tired? I
Yeah,
don't know.
my
That could
bad.
be a
I
saying. I
forgot
don't
it.
know. You know what? I make up
He's shaking
sometimes.
his head.
I get a whole
Yes.
bunch of sayings mixed
Yeah,
up. So
that's what
sometimes
I think I
I'll
just
put like
did.
2 sayings in one. And to me, it makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. I mean, I thought it sounded pretty good. I was like,
Right.
yeah, sick and tired of being
Right.
sick and
Tired.
tired.
I think that's it. I think that's
It
it.
is.
It sounds
They call
familiar.
them logo or not logos. They're NA things.
What's NA? Like,
Not Narcotics Anonymous.
oh, it
I
is?
almost
Okay.
forgot.
I know
like,
alcohol, but I was like,
yeah,
what's the
it's
N?
narcotics. It's
Okay,
like
so,
AA slogans.
yeah,
That's what they're
slogans.
called.
Okay.
Slogans.
They're good
Yes.
ones. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of slogans and like what's it? Just like motivation, like quotes.
Motivation. Oh, me
Oh
too.
my
I
God,
love
love
quotes.
me a good
Me.
quote. Oh my gosh,
I love me a
'cause
good quote.
once you read that quote and it hits, you're
Yeah.
like, ah,
I'm
yes.
telling you, and when you've been to hell and back like 15 times, them quotes hit. Them motivational quotes, them ones about strength and endurance, you're like, yeah, I
Right?
got this.
Right?
Yeah.
I always think it's like
It's,
the Lord reminding me, like when I'm like, well, you know, like you just feel like you're in your feelings a little bit, and then that
yeah.
quote pops up. You're like, okay, Lord, all right, thank you for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Because they pop up when you
They
need them.
do. I know they do.
And I mean, now we have Instagram, so thank the Lord. You know,
Yeah.
the Lord's using Instagram for these
Yeah.
quotes.
I love Instagram. I mean,
Right?
you know, a
I
little
know, but
bit.
it's
It
fun.
gets
It's fun.
it gets
Let's be
quite
honest.
addicting.
Oh, it does.
My
I
gosh.
have to set like perimeters, being like, okay, at this time, I'm putting my phone upstairs and I'm,
I do
watching
too.
TV. It's so funny how like we can
What about
become
how the
like
time goes when
where the
you
time goes, and
I'm
that
gonna
like
turn
we
this.
could just be so glued to our phones.
Yeah. And I be getting on my daughter, and then I'm like, Christina, look at you
Right?
being being a hypocrite. You're telling her to get off your phone. You're on it all the time. And here I was the other day, I was
Right?
like stuck on it. And then like an hour and a half passed. I'm like, oh my, okay, phone is
Right?
going up.
I know.
Yeah.
I found one time I couldn't even go to the bathroom. Like I was like, I was like, okay, I'm not going to take my phone to the bathroom. And then I was sitting in the
Do
bathroom.
you
being
ever
like,
wake up and right when you wake
uh-huh.
up, you look?
Oh, I have to be intentional. I have to legit, because I'll grab it and then be like, oh, heck no, no,
That's
no,
what I've been
no.
doing. I've been going, no. I mean, it'll
Right?
be like 2:00. I'll get up to go to the restroom, and then I'll grab the phone, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Right? That's why I
Like,
got a
what?
watch, because I would get on like I have a watch now. It's a
Yeah.
digital, like old school one, but it was because I would get on my phone and like I would just, 'cause, you get to go to the bathroom in the middle of
Yes.
the night and you're like, oh, what time it is? But then I would do that and I'd be like, oh, look,
I
someone
know.
messaged me. What's this
I
about?
know.
So I
I
had to
do.
stop, because
Yeah.
that's or like I would just look at the time, to like just look at the time. And then I'd be like, oh, look at this Instagram ad. And then I would get mad at my kids for interrupting me for trying to buy like the newest face
Yeah.
roller or something.
Yeah. I
And
know.
I was like, this is not healthy.
Yeah. It's not.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank the Lord we're self-reflector. We're like, we
Yes.
realize it
I
and then
know.
we try to correct it.
I do. I self-reflect a lot. I journal. I mean, I do all that
Right.
stuff. I have to. Because
Right.
that's another thing that I think helped me is when I was in prison, I journaled. And I still sometimes will read that journal, you
Oh,
know?
really?
Yeah. And it's a full year of
Mhm.
me in prison. It's wild.
Right? I bet so.
I
bet
mean,
that's
some of
a
the things I
journey.
see, yeah, that's a journal, all right. I mean, that might make me some money one day
I know,
because it's
right?
wild. I mean, it's about everything what's going on in there,
Mhm.
just, I mean, looking back on it, like some of the things I remember, it was so cold in there. On one
Uh-huh.
of the entries I was reading the other day, I remember now because when you get out, it's trauma, so
Uh-huh.
you push it, you suppress it. You
Yeah.
know, you don't. I mean, I swear to you, right when you walk out of them gates, it's gone. That whole 15
right.
months, you don't remember any of it because it's just so insanely crazy and
Yeah.
trauma and people screaming and fights and just
So it's like what the movies are like.
yeah. It might be a little
It's more ratchet?
it's pretty wretched
It is.
in every way.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking the women
Right,
are
yeah.
very nasty.
All
you
right.
know. I whispered.
Right. I like the mic
Not
can't hear you.
yeah, I know. Nasty. No, that's just the fighting is not even as bad as just how nasty they are.
All
And it's
right.
yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Oh gosh. But thank you, Lord, I'm not in there anymore.
Right.
But I was reading about how cold it was, and it was
Like
so
temperature wise?
yes, and
Okay.
it was so freezing in there. I would have on a beanie
Mm-hmm.
and a jacket and my gloves and a scarf laying on the bed,
Oh
on the bunk
gosh.
bed with about 30 other women in there just freezing. And we were on lockdown because of COVID.
Oh no.
So we were on 23-hour bunk restriction.
Okay.
We could only leave for an hour to go eat. And that was about 5 months of my time
Uh-huh.
spent like that. You want to talk about self-reflection.
Right.
All you got is a Bible and a journal
All right.
and your bunk.
All right. But if you think about that, probably all those women did all the other ones have like journal access and Bible access?
Yeah.
But then how many do you think is still like it didn't hit for them? It didn't like change them.
I bet a bunch.
See, so that's what's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I bet, but I do think some of them change. I mean,
yeah, no,
it's
definitely.
crazy though. Like all you hear in there is people want the Lord.
Yeah.
It's just wild because you come out here and it's most people don't want the
Yeah,
Lord.
no.
But in there, when everyone is at their worst, they
Mhm.
want the Lord.
Right.
And then they get out, and it happened to me the first time. You know, I got out, and within 5 months, I slowly, I started hanging out with old people,
Right.
and I slowly reverted back to my old ways.
All right, that's great. Why do you think the first time you went out and you went back, like you knew these people were bad, but you
Yeah.
still went
I
back?
don't know. I don't
Right.
think I was ready yet.
All right.
I mean, I was already, when I got out last time, I had my sister had my purse, and I lived with her when I first got out to rebuild, my
Uh-huh.
life. And I opened that purse, and I found a bottle of Vicodin.
Why
And
didn't she go? Gosh, she needs to be more snoopier. I gotta tell her.
oh yeah,
She
I
needs to
mean,
get in your
it's not
business
her
more.
fault, but
It's not
right
her.
when I found it, I'm like, oh God. I mean, I looked up at him and everything, like,
Uh-huh.
and then all of a sudden,
Whoop. Yeah.
over. I mean, and it was a bunch of them because I used to sell them. So it
Okay.
was a lot.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God. Now looking back on it, I'm like, Christina, that was the devil testing you and you felt like that.
Right.
I just wasn't ready. I mean,
Right.
if I was to find Vicodin right now, I wouldn't take them, like,
That's good.
yeah. I mean, there's people at my job that have things, it's just, I don't
Right.
want that stuff
No,
anymore.
but that's good that you're able to. I mean, I think it's because you've gone through so much. Plus, you have
yeah.
a relationship
I mean,
with the
I'm
Lord
done.
that
Yeah.
you're like, I know I can't do this, but
Yeah.
the Lord, since you have that relationship, the Lord has given you His Holy Spirit, so you're able to
Yes.
exercise self-control.
Yes, I know. I know.
Right?
I don't want to go back there again. I mean, I get scared, I won't lie. I mean, of course, after 30 years of addiction,
Mhm.
I still have the negative thought patterns, but today I can recognize them thought patterns, and I've been in so much therapy and done
Yeah.
so many programs, I know what to look for. I know, and Jesus, the Lord is He's putting it on my heart what to look for. Right away he'll convict me. Oh, you're thinking of some weight. I always think the biggest problem I have is the weight loss.
Really?
Because you can lose weight quickly if
Oh,
you
yeah.
do drugs.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's so true.
I've
If I
gained,
didn't know.
I'm like probably 40 pounds bigger than I was, and I don't need to be
No,
doping
you
skinny
look
like I
great.
was, but I still want to lose about 25 more pounds. I've lost 30 and I
Okay.
want to lose about 25 more.
Uh-huh.
But that's the only thing that triggers me is like, you could lose the devil. He gets in
Right.
my ear like, you lose because you can lose weight in like a month.
Right. Oh,
Doing
no,
that
I mean,
crap.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Isn't
woo, you're
that
like
is so
eating
crazy.
chocolate every day and you
Right.
get about 10 times smaller and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, yeah.
Right.
Woo. But
How do you now? You said you used. I mean, you still feel convicted, but now I'm guessing when you first felt convicted, when you were still doing drugs, you would probably that would make it like trigger it to make you do drugs.
more
Where,
drugs.
yeah, where now like you feel convicted, but you're not it seems to me that it doesn't turn into a shame kind of thing, and you start.
Yeah, no, I don't feel, and it doesn't happen much. I've probably literally thought about that 3 or 4 times, and I've been out for about 14 months.
Yeah.
So, and literally it's a thought, and then it changes immediately because the Lord's like,
Right.
you ain't doing that. You know,
you ain't down for
we
that.
ain't gonna do this
Right,
again.
yeah.
So, and then it's gone.
Right.
But back then, when I was in my active addiction, I still love the Lord. I knew the Lord. I mean, I wasn't following him like I
Yeah.
should, but I was saved, and I knew him. I loved him. I've had a relationship with him for about 15 years, on and off. You
Yeah.
know, I'd get high, and then I didn't want to
Right.
be around anyone that was about the Lord because I knew I was doing wrong, and I felt guilty, and I was like, I'm going to be around people that do what I do, so I don't
Right.
have to feel the guilt. You
Right.
know,
Misery loves company.
right, yeah. So yeah.
Right. So you said 30 years of addiction. Can you take us back to where you think it started?
I think it started when I was about 12. I actually, so my mom was an alcoholic, and my dad was a actual alcoholic, crackhead, or crack addict.
Yeah.
Is that what you call him?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
you can call-
crackhead.
you can call it either one. We're just-
I mean, it's awesome because my whole family is sober now and saved.
I know. I think that was just
Yes,
much like.
and me and my dad did cocaine together.
Right.
I mean, we went hard. We went to bars together, like
It's just a different
fought
kind of
together.
father-daughter bonding.
It's just a wild one. But, it's crazy because here we are loving Jesus and sober together,
Yeah.
So, but it started when I was about 12. I mean, my mother, she was a single mom of 4. She left my dad. We're from Kentucky. She left my dad when he was at work, moved us to the projects. We've lived in the projects a lot in our life. And, in the projects, it's a lot of poverty, drugs, thugs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what it is,
Yeah.
And we lived there, and then my dad went psychotic on my mom. Then my mom met my stepdad.
Okay.
And then we moved here to Indianapolis.
All right. Yeah.
And they always partied. He drank with me. He
Okay,
bought
your
liquor for
stepdad?
me and my friends at 13.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about 13 now, but I done experimented a little bit. Steal my mom's vodka, refill it with water. She was so
I think
drunk
every
she never knew.
younger
Yes,
kid did that.
right.
It's
And at
true.
first, it was okay, but I had a different kind of addiction though. Like it wasn't like I just dabbled. When I drank. I mean, we
Okay.
would drink fifths. We would drink, and
Yeah.
we're children. We're kids.
Yeah.
And I'm blacking out, falling over, getting in trouble with the police already at age 14. And, I didn't like authority, obviously. So I don't know. I just was a bad kid. I mean, I was just very rebellious because I didn't have any guidance. I mean, every
Right.
person in my life that was supposed to guide me partied with me.
Yeah.
I met my stepdad. I loved him. I looked up to him because he loved all of us kids, but he bought me liquor.
Yeah.
At 13, me and my friends lined up. Let's go.
Right.
We're children.
You didn't know better.
If my daughter ever came to me, my daughter is 12. If she ever even told me she drank alcohol, it'd be a major problem.
Right,
I, I just couldn't. And I'm not putting anyone down because I love my family. I love my dad. I love my stepdad. But I just don't understand that thinking, logically.
Well, I think it
thinking.
sounds like all of them were very, like lost, and it's just, they're just doing the best they
Maybe
knew.
they thought it was better to party with us than us go out and party with men or other people. We weren't partying with men at 13, but
I mean,
they never know. You never know.
never
I mean,
know.
at 13, I looked like I was about 18.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was, I just pray my daughter doesn't develop. I looked 18.
Okay.
And I lied about my age. So by the time I was about, I was partying. Let's see, what else is next? And then my mom, she was always working.
All right.
And then my okay, wait, let's see.
We can back it up.
Yeah, back it up. So when my mom and my dad divorced, my mom was a great mother, and then all of a sudden they divorced. She went buck wild.
Really?
Okay. Start hitting the clubs, meeting men, bringing a different man home every week. I mean, it was just kind of out of control.
Yeah.
So but I don't know. We learned to adapt to
Right.
that.
How did you, do you remember when you were younger seeing these, guys?
Yeah.
Not trying to
No,
so
I remember. I
disclaimer,
remember
we
some of
love
their
our parent.
names.
We love our parents and stuff, and
Yes.
they're doing the best they can,
Yeah.
especially in their
Yeah.
So I feel like when sometimes when I talk to people on podcasts about their parents, I'm like, we are now parents. We understand. We're all trying to do the best we can and
Right.
stuff. And
And my mom, even in her addiction, she loved us. She
Yeah.
was a great mother. But she just, she'd been with the same guy for
Right.
20 or however long. And
Yeah.
then, she just wanted to have fun, I guess.
Right.
Fun,
So back to my question with how did that make you? Because you were younger. How did you
I
make
was,
sense of it?
I was just really sad.
Mm-hmm.
I was real close with my dad.
Okay. Yeah.
So when she left my dad, I was very mad at her.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand why and then she met my stepdad, Carter.
Okay.
And Carter was a good guy, for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, he loved us and didn't hurt us or abuse us or anything.
Yeah.
And then we moved up here for him.
Okay.
And then let's see. So then that's when I first met the crowd that I hung with.
Okay.
And they were not a good crowd. But
But it's
I got in where I thought I fit in.
Yeah, right.
And
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's just what I did. And I mean, they all smoked weed, they all drank. So by the time I was about 14, 15, we were raging drunks, smoking weed, blunts at that time is what you smoked,
Yeah.
We the guys had the systems in their car,
Right.
and we thought we were so cool.
That's like when the subwoofers and
Yes.
everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
my Lord. They were cool, but they were also annoying. Now that
Yeah,
I'm older,
I mean,
I'm like,
we'd
these
sit
are
in the car and
annoying.
our whole body
Right?
vibrate. We're
That
like,
cannot be good for you, right?
What the? If I sat in a car like that right now, I'm so old. I'd be like, I gotta get out of this car. I
would
got a
get
headache.
anxious.
Yeah,
I would be like,
I'd
I
have
can't do this anymore. Like,
anxiety.
what?
Yes.
What were we thinking back
I
then?
don't know, man, but it was just crazy. And I hung out with. I had a best friend and she was with a guy that was abusive.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd literally chase her around. We'd run and hide from him. He'd
Right.
chase her with guns. This was at like 15, you
Yeah.
know? So by the time I was 18, I was a cocaine addict.
Okay.
I mean, crashing cars. I got into a lot of car wrecks.
Really? Was it because you were high and
Drunk,
that's it? Okay,
just drunk.
Oh,
Yeah,
just drunk.
out of
Okay.
control drunk,
Yeah.
like blackout. I used to come and party in Broderpool a lot for about 15
I know.
years
Didn't we
straight.
all? Didn't we
Yeah,
all?
I
That's
mean,
the
I was
thing.
18 and I used to go into because I knew all the bouncers. I went to high school with them, and they'd let me in. So
Uh-huh.
I started going out here at 18.
See, I had to use a fake ID, and sometimes they would chase me away.
Well, I'd get
See?
chased away when I'd get rowdy,
Uh-huh.
But,
I'd get rowdy.
But and I got rowdy almost every time, but they'd always let me back the
Yeah.
next weekend, But
Isn't that funny? Now we used to get crazy in Broad Ripple, and now we're here sitting,
yeah,
talking about the
about
Lord.
our story and how crazy it was then.
Right?
Yeah,
Right? What
Broad
the devil
Ripple-
used for evil, we're using for good.
Yeah, amen. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep doing too. But it is. I mean, I had some fun though.
Right? Yeah.
In the moment, I had a lot of fun. But it destroyed my life. I mean, I'm trying to think where I was at.
But I think with I always look back to my life, I wasn't as crazy as you were. But it was I look back and I'm like, well, I did have fun doing this and that. But it was fun, but now I look back, I could be more reflective. It was momentary. It was
Yeah.
fun for a little bit, but then it got destructive real
So
quick.
destructive beyond recognition.
Right.
I feel like I was just destructive.
Right.
And I've read a lot of books with the Lord and about, destructive behaviors, and that's just from a bad upbringing.
Yeah.
You self-destruct.
Yeah.
That's just all I did my whole life.
All right. And you try to use things for coping with
Yeah.
what was going on in your
Yeah,
life.
to numb everything.
Yeah.
And I was trying to numb everything, or thought I was partying and having fun. And I was at first, but then 20, 30 years passed me by and I'm like, where'd my life go?
Right.
My
And then you're making
gosh.
crazy decisions you never thought you would.
Oh man. And then, so let's see. So actually I met a guy and I fell in love for a while.
Okay.
For about 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
That's not that is a while. That's a good
yeah, but
amount.
you know what? It was a wild time. I mean,
Alright.
I was a drunk. He
Uh-huh.
actually was a good guy at first.
Okay.
And I was a drunk, I was an alcoholic, and I partied with his mother. She was an alcoholic, and his sister was an alcoholic. I don't know. He ended up sleeping with my best friend.
Ah.
Yeah, we ended up losing 3 children.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Alright.
kept having I mean, I
Right.
know why, because
Right.
right when we broke up, I met Ava's dad and got pregnant with her.
Okay.
So it
So
was
she
just
wouldn't
not
be here
meant.
if it wasn't for
Right,
these, yeah.
right, yeah. But so let's see. So yeah, that really got me when he did that. I mean,
Right.
it was bad. That's when I really got out of control.
Okay.
I started doing pills.
Alright.
I had a good job in the car business. So
Okay.
yep, I got in the car business, start making good money, and then I really learned how to party. Them
Really?
guys,
Is it because you got money or you got different connections?
everything, all of the above.
Okay.
I always have had connections because
Okay.
of living in hoods.
Yeah, right.
So you
This is
always, I
I've
mean,
heard
you
they're the
just
best
you meet the
connections.
guys,
Yeah.
that have lots of drugs and they want people to sell them for them, and
Yeah.
you make a lot of money and you get free drugs. I mean,
Mhm.
that's just how I would survive. I would just,
So you get free so I don't know much about the drug dealing business, but so you get free drugs too? 'Cause
hmm
I've only known from I mean, I had a few friends in, like, high school that sold drugs and stuff, but I was never fully in it. But so you don't have to so I'm very interested about this, so I apologize. But, that you get, like, free drug is it kinda like how you normally would work in a job? Like, you do good and you get, like, better
yeah,
stuff, you get free things?
exactly. The more
Okay,
you sell, the better you're gonna do. And
okay.
I was amazing at it.
I could you're a very personable
Yes, I'm
person,
great
so it
with
makes
people. I'm great with people with money. I'm great with people from the hood. I
yeah,
just can fit in with them all.
right?
So, I had everybody in the car business was on them and I was
Really?
on them. And it makes you like, Vicodin, Adderall,
Mhm.
Percocets,
Yeah.
they make you upbeat.
Do
So
they?
they
I
were
mean
selling cars
right?
so much better once I came around and got in there and everybody loved it.
Yeah.
It was
How do
great.
you introduce something like, when you were, like
Well, I mean, because everybody does
I
it.
mean, I
Like,
guess and people just honestly, people want to, be get the best, have the nicest cars and stuff, so I think it's easy once people especially in the car business
yeah.
and stuff, the more you sell, the more money you make, so
Selling cars?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I actually was it's called the Business Development Center.
Okay.
Yep. And then I did that for 10 years. And then I actually was son-in-law's assistant for
Oh.
5 years.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Or 4 years. But I mean, I screwed everything up, with,
It's
yeah.
what drugs will do.
Went
Drugs and
downhill.
alcohol, I've heard.
But it's fine. The first job I didn't. I had Ava.
Okay.
And that's why I left after 10 years.
Did you
So,
stay clean while you were pregnant
yeah.
with it?
Yeah.
Isn't that's the most interesting I met a
Yeah.
lot of people that are
I
like
know. I
that.
did smoke cigarettes.
Okay, but
Yeah, sorry, God.
that's
Yeah.
no. A lot
I mean,
of people
I
do that.
did. I didn't I cut back on it, and but I did. I wasn't heavy in the drugs
Okay.
yet. I was just doing pain pills, so I just quit them.
And that was easy to do?
No, no.
But it's because
Not-
you're pregnant
Yeah,
and
it
made
was
a little bit
easy when you're pregnant, and when I got pregnant with her, I was drinking more at
Okay.
that time. I wasn't doing pills like I wasn't fully into the drugs yet.
Okay, okay,
I was selling them, but I wasn't. I was selling them to make money more.
Yeah,
and
you weren't
drinking.
you weren't
you know?
going into them yet.
Yeah, not
Alright.
yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty bad on them, but I
Mhm.
just quit with her because I
Okay.
was terrified. I heard stories about
Oh, yeah.
children. Yeah,
Yeah, because
so.
I used to take care of, like, women that like, when I worked downtown and stuff in labor and delivery
Oh,
that
did you?
uh-huh, that
Yeah.
were on pills and stuff like that, but I do find it very interesting that addicts are loud I mean, not loud, they can, like, somehow, when they get pregnant, like,
Yeah, can
they can, like
stop.
s yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
I don't know
I
what
thought
it
it
is.
was so crazy, like how easy it was.
Right?
When you're not pregnant, it's not easy like that. You
Right?
can't get clean.
Do you think it's just because you're pregnant, there's another human being?
Yeah, but I don't understand because why can't you stay clean when they're born?
Right?
Why is it just when it's in your body? I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I've never figured that one
Right?
out.
I don't know, only the Lord knows, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, but it's good for us ones that,
Right? And I
you
mean, it's
know.
good for the babies.
Yeah, it's very
I'm
good for
glad
the
to
babies.
right? It's good
Yeah,
right?
win-win.
Right?
But yeah, so I had her. Well, is that where we're at? Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yep, I had her, and she ended up having a heart defect.
Oh, she did? Okay.
Yep. So she had to get. So her dad went. So her dad went with me to hear her heartbeat.
Okay.
He went to prison the next day.
Okay.
Okay.
How did you meet her father?
At the bars.
Okay. At the bars.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And we just kind of hit it off immediately and just start hanging out every day.
All right.
And I'm still in contact with him now. He's found the Lord now.
Wow. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah. He's about to get out next year. So, me and him are going to try
went to jail? Or do you not
I'm selling dope.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I asked, and then I was like,
Fortunately, we also dope.
right.
It is what it is. I
Mhm.
mean, it's just what I did. That's how I
Yeah.
survived. That's, it's just what I did to survive.
Right.
And I made a lot of money. I didn't work. I had houses. I had cars.
Right. I don't think people fully understand, like, when people sell drugs and stuff, like, it's a living. Like, I mean, it
Yeah.
goes both ways. Like,
It
people
is.
get
And
addicts,
it's
but
bad,
also,
though. I
it
mean,
is
it's
bad.
horrible because, I've had to really pray to God about, some of the things that some of the people, I'm going to try not to cry. Some of the women I've
tissues
sold
in
dope to
Uh-huh.
with children, and
Yeah.
I've seen how strung out they are, and I've
Right.
still sold them dope
Right.
and just treated them like an object.
Right.
That stuff haunts me,
Right.
you know?
But yeah, I mean, I
But
definitely
in my
can
head, I
empathize with that.
detached from that,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
It's
especially when you're
just,
doing
it's a
that.
job.
Yeah.
I detached from the person. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Oh, yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I had to
But
do.
that is something that, I mean, like, now that you brought it up and stuff, that is something that, I mean,
And
thank
I
the Lord.
remember some horrible things,
Right. I bet so. I mean,
Gosh, some women that were just, and even in my addiction and that moment,
mhm.
God said, "Don't you dare sell no dope to that girl.
Uh-huh.
Look at her children; they don't even have food."
Right.
But no,
But that's,
there you go.
think of human nature. I mean, we're all sinners and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we're
And I
one.
know I'm forgiven.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Oh, yes.
I
I
know.
will definitely
Yeah,
say that. I was about to say,
I'm forgiven.
yes.
Thank Jesus for that.
Right.
But I still it haunts me. I mean,
Right.
sometimes, not all the time, but I do get a lot of flashbacks from all that 30
Right.
years of trauma. I mean,
But I think also with that, I mean, you just saying that, I think if, people are listening to this and they have done something, it's like to help them know that they're not alone in this.
Yeah.
This happens, and, the Lord redeems you.
yeah,
Even
He does redeem you.
there's nothing you can do that keep him from
No.
your love.
There's not, and,
Right.
and you can do any of that. I mean, let's see. So I didn't even get into meth. When I got into meth, that's when everything
Mhm.
went downhill.
So your daughter was
My-
born after this.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
My daughter was
Okay.
born, and so my daughter was so sick, I had to give her injections 3 times a day to keep her alive.
Okay.
Okay. For 7 months straight, because she couldn't get that surgery until she was 7 months old,
Yeah.
because it could kill her if not.
Yeah.
She had a hole in her heart, and it was in a place where most of the time heart murmurs will heal themselves.
Yeah.
But hers wouldn't.
Oh,
So if I
okay.
didn't get it fixed, she would have died.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was crying all the time. Her body was shutting down because of her heart.
Yeah.
I mean, I was exhausted. I had to quit my career. That's when I worked in the car business, because nobody will watch a child that's that sick.
Right. Yeah, no, it's true.
So I was broke.
Yeah.
And I was exhausted. I was tired. I was
can only
on
imagine.
Adderall then, because I've always been prescribed it. I don't
Mhm.
do it now, but I was on it for 15
Right.
years.
Yeah.
But that wasn't enough anymore.
Okay.
So one day I'm talking to this guy. I'll never forget. I know exactly. I can remember it verbatimly. And I'm like, man, I need something to keep me up. I'm trying to take care of her. She's up all the time.
Right.
And I'm just exhausted, and I'm grumpy with her,
Yeah.
and he's like, hey, I got something for you.
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, you do? I'm like, what, cocaine? That ain't working.
Right.
And he's like, no, something better than that. And I've heard of meth, okay? And I
Yeah.
thought it was disgusting. I was like, no,
what year was this? Do you remember?
This was 2012.
All right. So it was big back then. It
Yeah.
was like, okay.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. You know, he's like,
Right.
it's not what you think. People just make it up. People make you think it's all this,
Right.
you know. And I'm like, seriously? And he's like, and he has it out. He has a line. So I'm like, oh, it's a line. You know, I'm not doing nothing horrible.
Right.
You
It's
know,
not like
like
what you see in the
it's like
movies.
cocaine. You
Right.
know, I mean,
Yeah.
just he's like, just snort half of it and
Okay.
just see what it does. So I'm
Mhm.
like, well, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
So I snorted half of it, and it was over. It was
Mhm.
totally over.
Ah.
It was. I mean, it was the best feeling I've ever felt in my
Really?
life. I mean, I hate to say that,
Well, no.
but
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
yeah.
keep it
We're not gonna
real.
promote
Like,
drugs. We're
yeah,
not
we're not
promoting drugs,
promoting, but I'm just saying that is how I felt in that moment.
yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you what it did, though.
Yeah.
But at that moment, I'll tell you the destruction side in a minute. But in that moment, I was just it did what I needed it to do.
Mhm.
I had energy. It makes you happy, and you're just like, oh gosh, you know,
Right.
I love life, you know, even in the rough times,
Yeah.
okay? But that don't last.
Yeah.
You know, that one time, nothing's ever the same after that. You know, and then it just took me.
Well, when
And
you say nothing was the same after that, is it just that feeling like you chased that like high you felt?
yeah, I mean, you don't get me wrong, you still feel that feeling,
Okay.
but it's like you get so high. You get so hold on, let me think of how do you say it. You're speeding so fast, you can't keep up with that.
Okay.
Like you're just I mean, you're going
Yeah.
too fast. Your brain can't even keep up with the drug.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Yeah.
And like before, I mean, let's see. So Ava got her surgery. I tried that. Let me see. And then I had my own house then, and me and Ava did, and then all of a sudden I started hanging out with just some real rough people. You know,
Really?
people I knew from my past.
Okay. That's
And, well, actually, I started hanging out with a friend of mine. She's been a best friend of mine. She's clean and sober now, but we don't talk because we can't because we're toxic for each other.
Okay.
Like we were in prison together. She's so dope. I so dope. We've always been in that street life.
Uh-huh.
So I love her. She loves me, but we know we can't hang out.
Okay.
And I love her with
Yeah.
all my heart, but I know I can't be around her. She knows she can't be around me because we get a little wild, you know?
No, I mean that, but that's. I mean that's.
It sucks.
It sucks.
But
it's
I mean,
very. I mean, like, but it's good that you both like.
yeah.
It's definitely something what I feel is like the Lord has given you both.
Yeah,
This,
because
like,
she loves the Lord too.
yeah.
But we see each other on Facebook and check on each other,
Right.
but we just won't ever cross that path. We've relapsed so many times together when we've both been doing good. So,
But I feel like that's such like a thing of love. It's like I feel
yeah.
like a lot of people think like love should be like, oh, you gotta hang out with the person, you gotta, but sometimes, like you said, if you were to do that, that's not love because that's not bringing out their
she's
best
like
self.
with her daughter now, and she's a grandmother now, and like I'm with my daughter now, so
Yeah.
we love each other enough to let that go.
Yeah, and that's I think
but we
that's
love each other.
Yeah.
But it's just we've hung out for 30 years, and it just was bad.
yeah,
Love, lots of love, but bad.
Yeah.
You know,
just not the right. It's not the love
no,
that
it's the toxic
it's
love.
the toxic love, the stuff that's not
yeah,
good.
Yeah. So we started hanging out, and she was dating this wannabe dope boy.
He wasn't cool enough.
Yeah, he actually snitched on me and got me sent to prison. He got the whole narcotic drug task force team. I mean, you can Google me. I'm still on the paper of Greensburg, Indiana. Yeah. He did that.
He did that. Hey, the Lord was working through him.
I mean, he was because
you weren't happy about it.
I found the Lord the first time I went to prison too.
Okay.
I've been searching. You know,
Nothing's wasted.
Yeah, nothing's wasted. Let's say that. Good. That's a good save because I was about to get on that that hood thinking. No, but so let's see. So I start hanging out. Okay, so my family, they were just total. What is wrong with Christina?
Okay.
Okay.
So were they out of their addiction now?
Yeah, they're all out of their addiction. But my sister and my mom and all them, they're like, something is wrong with her. They're looking up what signs of meth addiction.
Yeah.
They're starting to hear around the streets that I'm on meth. You know,
Okay.
I'm starting to look like a skinny rail.
Right.
You know, I'm telling everybody it's Adderall, but everyone knows that Adderall don't make you that skinny.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm
Right.
running around making poor choices, just everything out of my character. So my mom leaves me a letter on my door And I'm selling meth at this time
Okay,
now.
okay.
So, I sold pills for a long time. Now I've switched to meth.
Did you make a lot of money doing that, or is it like
Meth?
not? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You make a whole lot of
Okay.
money doing that. And you make even a lot more money doing heroin.
All right.
Yeah. It's just,
Really?
yeah. Done it all, yeah. But heroin will be my last. That's what took me down.
We haven't got there yet.
Yeah. We're working up.
We're on this adventure, this journey
Isn't
together.
that crazy? When I'm just sitting here telling this, it's like,
It's such a redemptive
I'm
story.
detached from it, though.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can tell you this without crying because I've healed from it.
Yeah.
You know, I've actually faced all of this stuff, and I've let God have it.
Yeah. And that's what you should do.
And I am on the brink of tears a few times.
Right.
I'm holding it together
Okay,
like
well,
a
we got
soldier.
tissues,
I'm
whatever.
soldiering up.
Okay.
I don't want to cry on camera.
Okay.
But I mean, I might. I mean, if I talk about my daughter, I will.
Okay.
That's my.
I mean, that gets me any kind of stuff with anything has to do with kids.
Anything that
Hits me.
And
Oh my
that's what
God.
makes me almost cry earlier when I thought of that kid.
All right,
Because I'll
yeah.
never forget that little kid I saw.
All right.
And that I might have contributed to that little kid sitting there with no clothes on.
All right,
You
yeah.
know? Oof.
I know.
That'll get me going.
Don't get me. Anything with little kids.
Yeah,
I
love
they're
them.
so innocent.
I know.
And it's just
I
like,
know. We
oh,
can't talk about
I know.
them because I love them.
Because it was like, I am trying not to
know.
cry on this camera.
I put extra mascara on today. That's
I
why
put
them
less
lashes.
mascara.
You did? I knew if I do that though, I'd be bawling. So I had to.
Because it gives you permission.
Right. And I knew because at first I was like, well, maybe I'll do less makeup. I'm like, take it. No, but okay, so my family's freaking out at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm close with my family. So when I start not hanging out with my family, they know I'm on drugs.
Yeah.
That's the biggest red flag there is for me is if I'm sorry, I forgot this was on. Is if I detach from them, they know something's wrong.
Okay.
Because even if I don't live by them or around them or with them, I'm still in contact every day with one of them. I mean, there's 7 of us.
There's a whole bunch of
There's
you.
a whole gang, you know?
Yeah.
So
You pick your Monday through Sunday.
Yeah.
You're talking.
So I
each
literally
person a different
wasn't
day.
talking to any of them. None.
Yeah.
I mean, and I talk to my mom every day.
Okay.
So, yeah, I wasn't talking to any of them. They knew something was wrong. They came over and seen me a few times. And I mean, when I first started it, I was just gone.
Mm-hmm.
Gone. Just running around. Just gone. I can't even explain it except that word.
Yeah.
Because you're so tweaked out of your mind. And you're like running around thinking everything's great when everything is falling apart.
All right.
So all of a sudden I get a note on my door and I come up, I grab the paper and it's like, we need you to come over for dinner and bring Ava with you.
Okay.
And I'm like, you're real paranoid. You think everybody's out to get you. So I'm like, okay, not bringing Ava. They're going to take her from me. So I call a sitter to watch Ava.
Uh-huh.
And I go to my parents' house and interventions, right?
Oh gosh. Uh-huh.
Okay. And at this time, I don't even tell y'all, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on here, but I was shooting up drugs.
Okay. I mean, you're allowed to say whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I was actually taking heroin and mixing meth together and shooting it up.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, girl, I was gone. This was my worst.
You said shooting like vein-wise?
Vein-wise.
Okay, vein-wise.
Yes, I done
All
it
right.
5 times, and this was one of the times when I was doing it.
Yeah.
So I was trying to think of why was I so gone then? That's what I was on.
Okay.
Yep, because all them people
That's
I was hanging with, that's what they did. So
That's
I'm
a
like, well,
mixture
let me
that'll get you right there, Christina.
Oh, girl, it's called a speedball. And I'm going to tell you, it'll get you.
Okay.
Not good.
Not good. It's it's not a good
It's
one.
not a good.
It's not a good mixture. It's not one of those ones you want.
No. Gosh, it's horrible. But it made me so horrible. My family was terrified.
Mhm.
So I go downstairs and they're all sitting in a circle. And I'm like,
You're like,
no, I went psychotic.
Uh-huh.
And I left.
Okay.
I was like, no, I'm not doing this. Because right away, someone started reading the letter.
Yeah.
Oh, we're just worried about you. I'm like, nope, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I left because I was in denial.
I mean, makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, how are you even in denial when you're shooting drugs?
Yeah.
That's how
deep
gone
in.
you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's demons in you, I feel,
Right.
when you're doing that stuff.
Right.
Like, no, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's demonic.
Yeah.
So I went back home and I'm like, I'm real paranoid. I'm like, they're going to take my daughter from me,
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, what happened? Sure enough, I came home one day and I get a knock on the door and it sounds like a police knock. You know, they got a specific knock.
They got a specific.
Oh, yeah. I know them knocks real well. So I hear it on the door and I'm like, oh my God, the police are here. Well, it wasn't the police. It was DCS. They got a knock like the police too.
Oh, they.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I had people jumping out my window. They thought the
Right? 'Cause they
police
thought
was
the
at the
popo was here. Yeah.
But so they come to my house and they're telling me they're going to take my daughter from me.
Okay.
Or no, wait. First, they come to my house and they give me a drug screen. They give
they do.
I think so. I can't remember exactly how it went.
I thought they gave you like a warning or something, unless you had drugs in the house. Then
they give you. Well, they don't take the child right away.
Yeah,
they gave me a. I mean, this is how I don't remember a whole bunch of this. But
well, you were like hot.
Yeah, I was gone.
Sounds like you were
and they did a swab.
Okay.
And at first I tried to refuse it, but then if I would have refused it, they would have took her.
Okay.
So so they gave me a date when they were going to come back and do the swab. Okay. I'm so gone. I'm looking up things on how to clean your saliva. Some says to drink or to gargle with peroxide. So I started doing that. Okay. Right before they come to my door. So they come to my door. They swab my mouth. They leave. I don't hear from them.
Okay.
For like a week. 2 weeks go by. I'm like, oh my God, it was right.
You were like, the internet knows
it really happened. A month goes by. Then I hear the police knock. It's the police and it's DCS and they're there to take my daughter away from me.
How old was she at this time?
2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, and she went to my mom's.
Okay.
Thank God,
Yeah.
So my mom and them knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what. I hated my mother for that. I hated my mom's like, well, your stepdad did it, and I don't care. Y'all all did it. You took my daughter, the only thing that keeps me going, even though, I had her around dangerous people.
Yeah.
Was she fed? Yes. Was she clothed? Yes. All of that. But I had her around people that was dangerous and I was high out of my mind.
Yeah,
so really, in all logic, she shouldn't have been with me.
Yeah.
I can see that now.
But there you were just like, you took my daughter, where it's like, but you were all so high. We don't know. You wouldn't be able to know, like, if something did happen to her.
Because we just weren't right in our mind. So she took her and then I went off the deep end bad. And I was dating a really, really big drug dealer at the time. So we got robbed a lot. Doors kicked in. My uncle got stabbed.
Okay.
We were gone one day and they came in looking for us, trying to rob us for money. Okay. And they stabbed my uncle. So yeah.
Was it a bad stab or is it not?
Stabbed him a little bit in the neck and he got beat up real bad. And we had industrial tools. You know what them are?
No.
Oh, well, they robbed us for them.
Oh, they like regular? How are they different from
no, they're
tools?
like probably $15,000-$20,000 tools.
Why did you have such big tools? Was it like your boyfriend or was?
Yeah, not me. It was my boyfriend's tools.
Okay.
But he robbed some. It was just robberies back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. And we had to pay for it, me and my uncle, because my ex, he was my fiance. He did that. His people did that.
Oh, okay.
So they came back to retaliate and my uncle got stabbed. Yeah, I mean, it was just crazy. I mean, we had shotguns held to our head all the time. Robberies happened a lot. Doors kicked in. Man, I mean, and then that wasn't, so anyways, so all that. Anyways. Well, I mean, that's just that.
I mean, that's, the thing is, that's what like being in drugs and stuff can lead. I mean, it leads to that.
Yeah, it does. And when it's lots of money, I mean, it's going to lead to lots of bad stuff. And so then I ended up going to prison. I ended up getting set up by the feds.
Oh, really?
They were listening to us we were selling big amounts of dope.
It sounds like the feds are
in Greensburg, Indiana. Okay. So this guy we were selling dope to, he called me one time and he asked me if I had a big amount. Okay. And he's never did that before.
He
normally asked for a very small amount. He was like a really big dope fiend. And not me, I never communicated with him, but this guy we had working for us always communicated with him. And he told me that. And I said, are you sure he's not trying to set us up? Because something ain't right with that.
Right. Why is he using new words?
So then he came up with he came into some money and he's got a new friend that's wanting to invest and they're about to start selling dope in Greensburg. And, I'm just like, well, I'm going to send you all. I'm not going, so I was going to send a couple people to deliver it.
Yeah.
Well, the girl that was going to go ended up getting sick that day.
Okay.
So I had to go because I didn't trust the runner with my money.
Right.
Or, well, with my boyfriend, my fiance's money.
All right.
Okay. So that was $1,000. I didn't trust him.
Yeah.
So anyways, I went with him, and there was choppers, helicopters, the dogs, about 7 SUVs were there. And as we made the deal, and then the guy looked at me and he goes, "I'm sorry, Christina, I didn't know you were coming." And then I had this pit feeling in my
Right, and you
stomach,
were
and
like,
all of a sudden,
"No."
they're everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Christina,
And
it sounds like you were like some kingpin right now.
yeah, I wasn't.
It sounds like it.
I
Sure
mean, you would
people
think,
work
but
for
this
you.
is Greensburg, Indiana. Yeah, I mean, but he was doing it really big. It wasn't me.
Yeah.
It was the guy I was
Okay,
with.
yeah.
And I just helped run it.
Yeah.
You know?
You're just trying to be a helping hand.
I'm kind of dominant. You
Uh-huh.
know? I was just getting in where I fit in. But so then I went to prison for 25 months.
Okay.
Got out, I did a program. I got out. I really thought I changed. I really
Right.
thought I had it. I got out, and what's crazy is I had a counselor, and she told me that the only reason I would ever come back to prison is if I hung around old people again. I said, I'm never going to hang out with old people again, and you'll never see me back in prison again. Yeah, I bit that.
I bet that.
I ended up back. But because I went back to old people.
Yeah.
But then my life got real crazy.
Okay.
That's when I got out. I did good.
How long did you do good for, you think?
But I mean, I did relapse that time I told you, but I still did good. I didn't go back to, I mean, I don't know. I didn't do good for that long.
Okay. But you did better before.
Yeah. I did good for about a year.
All right.
You know, I mean, that 5 months, I already relapsed, though, a couple times within that year.
Mm-hmm.
But I still was hanging on to, like, really trying to change, you know?
Okay, yeah.
But it was maybe 9 months. I started hanging out with old people.
I'm not trying to make you feel like that.
Oh, no,
okay,
you're
good,
not.
good.
No, I'm just trying to figure out how long. It wasn't long, you know? But I did I got a good job again.
All right.
I got in the car business. That's when I got the job.
Okay,
My sister got me in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Right out of prison, I got in that job.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. And then I got that promotion and started working for his son-in-law.
Yeah.
But I really got wild with them.
Really? I mean,
you know, I don't know. I ain't gonna say much about that.
Yeah, don't say too much about,
but you know, just same old thing.
Yeah.
Then I got into ecstasy.
Oh, okay.
You ever heard of that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We've all heard of that. We all grew up in the time.
It's a little wild and fun in the moment.
All right.
But
oh no, I've taken ecstasy. I know how.
Have you? Okay. Yeah. Well, I found somebody that had a lot of it.
Okay.
And you know, I reverted back to old ways and started selling it. And then before I knew it, I was selling meth again. And then I met a guy. It's always these wonderful guys I meet. He was he sold a lot of heroin.
Okay.
Big time. Went over states and everything.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. And we moved in together. Woo! And he's a winner. I thought he was a winner. I don't know what I was thinking. When I first met him, he was clean. I was clean.
Okay.
We were going to do the clean thing.
Yeah.
You know? And then I'm like, well, you know, we could flip this and flip that. You know, that was my mentality. Every time I'd get out, I'd run to dope real quick because I knew I could flip it real quick and make $1,000 to get back on my feet. Or make a couple thousand to get a car and get, you know, I would need to get back on my feet. And that was the only way I knew how to make quick money real fast because I had all the people that I could call and they would front it to me and then I would just start going. So, yeah. And then I told him it was my ideal. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to get this, we're going to do this, and then we're going to get a house.
All right.
And we did. We got a house, but we didn't stop.
All right, yeah.
You know, you don't stop.
You thought you could just flip a few.
I never stopped.
And then just be like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah, I never stopped. So that's why I'm never going to do it because you don't stop.
Right.
You know, when you're broke like me, you don't quit. You want to keep getting more, paying this, paying that, get this. It's just greed, you know?
Right.
So then I dated him, and then that's when I got real hooked on heroin. And that's when I saw some of the most saddest things I've ever seen in my life.
Just like from other people and you?
Just
like
people.
People?
Just gone. I mean, it's so sad. They're so gone. and he just sold them, just kept selling them. They traded their whole houses for it.
All right.
I mean, wardrobes.
Yeah.
Probably $10,000 of wardrobes.
Mhm.
Like 50,000 things of Jordans, the $1,000 Jordans.
Right.
Like he had boxes of Jordans, and it's so sad.
Right.
Like I've never seen any addiction like that.
Really?
Even if, oh yeah, I mean, people trade. We'd have cars all the time.
Yeah.
They trade cars for it.
That's crazy. Yeah, I remember working at
It's
Methodist. We
crazy.
had a girl I took care of, and her mom traded her for, I don't know if it was heroin or meth. And,
Meth, they do
traded her
cars
for
too.
pretty much sex trafficking when she was like
What?
10 years old.
Yeah,
All right.
it's
It's no,
sad.
so I mean, I believe you
Yeah,
100%.
I mean, some of them addictions are so bad. I mean, it was just so sad, and we got robbed a lot.
Mhm.
He would get so high, he would think that I robbed him. We'd fight.
Right.
You know, all these relationships were toxic. I
Yeah.
mean, abusive,
They sound like
physical.
it, Christina.
Yeah,
They don't sound like
no,
the best.
no,
Yeah.
they weren't, man. They weren't. They were bad. It was all bad.
It was all.
It was all bad. And then I, let's see.
So during this time, Ava was with your mom and sister? Or?
No, Ava was with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Ava was with me
All
during
right.
all this.
Okay.
Yeah, Ava was with my mom and them, and then I got out of prison,
Okay.
and I got her back.
Okay.
Okay, and then I got a house. She had her
Yeah,
own bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah,
So then she's
and
definitely
at
with you,
first, you know, when I say that we sold it, he would go and sell it
Yeah.
and come back home.
All right. Okay.
But then it got out of control because we got addicted to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so at first we weren't doing it. We were just selling it, making lots of money,
Yeah.
and selling meth, and selling X, and selling weed,
All right.
all
Yeah.
of that. And it was getting real out of control.
That sounds like it.
And there was so then all of a sudden these big dope boys got out of prison
Mhm.
that he knew.
Yes.
And they came up in my crib,
Oh no.
and we had cameras in my crib, okay? And
Okay.
they basically they were doing things out of the back door, and I
Uh-huh.
didn't know about it
Okay.
because that one rule was they couldn't sell it at my house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's too close to home.
Yeah.
That is home.
I didn't want the people to know where I lived.
Right,
And swore to me that it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
It don't matter. He swore to me that they weren't.
Yeah.
Well, I was looking at my cameras because I had cameras everywhere because I was very paranoid because
Yeah.
it was crazy people, dope fiends everywhere. And I was like, looked and I saw them. And I'm like, and that's when I knew I had to get away from him
Okay.
because I knew my daughter we were in danger.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in danger.
Yeah. If
when-
they're at home and
And
stuff,
they
you
know
gotta-
where you live.
Right.
They will hurt you for
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I think that's a God thing that happened because you knew. I mean, like, if
He
your dog.
wouldn't leave me.
Yeah.
So I had to have my dad come move in because he wouldn't leave and I was scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then by that time, I mean, I was out of control too. It wasn't just him. I mean, I was doing it too, but I just was justifying it,
Uh-huh.
you know, because these are my friends, you
All right.
know. I
We
mean,
all do.
it was
We all
just
make up
I mean,
excuses.
I don't even know. My daughter, man, I mean, this is where it gets sad because she saw me. You know what she did one time? One time she wrote me a goodbye letter
Uh-huh.
because she saw me out of it on heroin.
Mm-hmm.
And she thought I was never going to wake back up.
Oh.
Yeah, when I woke up, I had a letter telling me goodbye and please don't die.
Oh.
Yeah. And I still didn't quit.
All right.
And I died from it. I woke up one time, these girls Narcaned me.
Mm-hmm.
I still didn't quit.
Were they like your friends living with you? Like how they?
I was
okay.
at their house
Okay. And
selling them dope.
Okay. Yeah.
And then this was fentanyl.
Okay.
I did fentanyl too.
Okay.
Might as well throw it in there.
All right.
And I was at her house, sold them some dope, and then
There's stitches behind you.
yeah, and then all of a sudden I thought she told me to do it. I
Uh-huh.
thought she said that was yours.
Uh-huh.
Well, that was ours
Okay.
to split. So
Ah.
I did the whole thing. And I'm like, hey, I'm feeling kind of wild. That's all I remember.
Uh-huh.
And then I wake up to they had to do me twice.
All right. Is it a normal thing for like people to have Narcan?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
addicts? Okay.
I don't know how many times I've seen people die. and
Because
get-
I've Narcan people before when
You
I
have?
when I worked in
Yeah.
like the ICU and stuff.
Yeah.
It gets you out real quick.
I know. It
It
woke me
does.
up and then I'm like, I was like, did I
Mhm.
just die? You know, like,
Yeah.
And then what do you think I did when I got home?
Did you do it again?
I got high.
What made you can you remember why you
I
decided?
didn't do the heroin,
Okay.
but I got high on meth.
Okay. Why did you just came out of, I'm
I
not
don't
trying to,
know.
like, you
No,
don't, you don't
I'll
know?
never forget that. Like, I was shook up. I was
Mhm.
crying. I couldn't believe I died.
Right.
And I
Do you
went
think
home.
it's because all that string of emotions, you needed something to help you work
Yeah,
through it?
to help me cope. That's all
Uh-huh.
I knew. And I also forgot to tell you. So in 2018,
Uh-huh.
my best friend and my other friend died, and my daughter found them. Yeah, they OD'd. So this was my best friend in the whole wide world.
Mhm.
I went to work. Okay, so I thought my roommate was using heroin. Okay.
Okay.
So I went and picked her up because this was a time when I mean, I was on meth, but I stayed on meth. So I wasn't doing heroin.
Okay.
Okay. I wasn't even on
Can you
heroin yet.
can you be functional on meth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
But I went and got her because she was clean.
Mhm.
And I told her, I said, hey, I think she's on heroin. So I
Yeah.
need you to, Ava's going to be asleep because I work third shift. I was like,
Okay.
Ava will be asleep, but I just need you to stay here because I don't feel right leaving her with her by herself.
Yeah.
So, girl, they both died. So,
Uh,
do you know the guilt that I live with from that?
all right.
Like, she relapsed because she was around her that night because I had her come over there.
All right.
Yeah. So that real, and my daughter found them.
Yeah.
My little girl.
How old was she at this time?
89, 20.
Estimate.
She was 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. She was 6, 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did she call you? How did you, or
No,
when you get home?
no, DCS called me.
Ah.
Yeah, they took her from me again because
Right.
of that incident
Mhm.
because I was honest with them.
Yeah.
They said, be honest with me. Are you on heroin? I said, no, I don't do heroin. I said, but I'm high on meth. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Boy, them cops, they hated me. They ripped me a new one.
They did.
They was like, you knew? Yeah, they said I knew they were on heroin and I left my kid with them and I was a POS mother and they pulled my, they saw that I had a dealing case that and they went psycho on me, dude.
Yeah.
So I left there in shambles. Ava screaming for me, wanting to
Right.
be with me.
Yeah.
But they let my mom come get
Yeah.
her. So then I died again. I killed myself.
That night or like later on?
Like 3 weeks later,
Okay.
I was at a friend's house and I just, when they died and then I got my daughter taken from me, I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
Like, I had some X and Coke and meth and heroin all mixed together. And I
Okay.
looked at my friends and said, I'm done. I can't do this no more. And I did a line about that big.
And they let you?
Well, they couldn't stop me.
Okay.
They didn't know. At first, they just thought it was like I was doing a big line. I did a lot of big lines.
Okay.
So
All right.
they didn't know I had all that mixed in it.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I did that, and then it was over. And then I woke up to being revived.
Really?
The paramedics had to come.
Okay.
So then I went to a stress center, and then
Yeah.
I stayed there, and I went to rehab, and then I did really good. I got her back in a record time,
Right.
and did great, and then I got a new house, and then I relapsed right when I got her back.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to meth.
Interesting.
Yep.
Do you think it's just because that's how you used to deal with stuff?
Yeah.
You think, and that's why it kept drawing you?
Yeah. And it's that feeling. It gives you that. It's something that I lack. It gives you a feeling that I lack.
Okay.
It just you feel good about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's false. It's you
no,
see
no,
how
no,
my
no, I
life
know,
has went
yes.
into shambles from it.
Yeah.
But it just gives you this weird sense of self.
Yeah.
Like you're very confident.
Right. It's
And-
like
and-
whatever you feel like you're lacking, it gives you that. It fills
I don't
that
know what
hole.
exactly it
Yeah.
is, but I don't really feel that anymore because I have Jesus and I'm sober and I don't want that life. But
Yeah.
or I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's just something.
I mean, it seems like it's Jesus and you don't want that life.
Yeah,
I think what you
I think
answered the
that's what it
question.
is. Yeah, it is. But I mean, I just don't know why I kept going back to it. That's to me the scariest thing about meth is, if people want to do it, you shouldn't do it because you might do it and it feels good, but it's going to literally, I've known 1 million people and it destroys all of their lives
All right.
over and over and over again.
All
You
right.
lose everything, you gain stuff, you lose it, you lose that, your
Mhm.
mental strength. Like it made me weak,
Yeah.
so weak. And I'm not a weak person.
Mhm.
I'm not. I have a lot of strength in me and it made me weak because I was just dead to the addiction,
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, so then,
I like, oh,
okay, so we'll jump back to, how much time we got?
we're good. Keep
Oh,
going. Keep
okay.
going.
Well, I gotta leave at 2:30
Okay.
because of
Okay.
Ava.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you just tell me
I
when it's,
will. I'll let you know.
so we'll go, so that house I got was
Yeah.
the house I was telling you about where I met at.
Okay.
Okay, so then,
And he was the one that was selling drugs out of the
yeah,
house.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and so my dad moved in
Okay.
and he
Yes.
moved out, but me and him actually we remained friends.
You and
Sorry, I was
okay.
sorry. Yeah, we were just kind of out of our minds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
were. I mean, you were both.
We
addicts.
promised each other that we wouldn't let any of this break our relationship up and get in the way, and we wouldn't get all hooked on it.
Yeah.
And we did exactly what we said we
Right.
wouldn't do. I think he's a great person, so I'm not sitting here knocking him
Oh
at
yeah.
all.
No.
I got mad love for him, but it's just, it was toxic.
It was a time. Like,
Yeah,
and they're no longer that. But that's
yeah.
how they were.
Yep, yep. And so then so he left. So then I met a girl, a good friend of, well, she's not a friend of mine anymore, but she was a friend of mine.
Okay.
And she was actually like, why don't you and your daughter move in with me?
Okay.
And I'll get you away from this environment, And
Alright.
I'm living in the hood at this time. This house was in the straight hood over off Southeastern. Do you know where that is in
No.
Indy? Well, it's a very raunchy neighborhood. I mean, Ava couldn't even go out on the front porch.
Okay.
Okay. Her bikes would get stolen if we left them out, like
Okay.
that kind of neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, really? And she lives up north and she's got a house and big house and me and Ava can come live there. And I'm like, okay. And, I wasn't thinking of what's the catch or anything like
Yeah.
that. Well, remind you, I was selling dope again.
Okay.
So a lot of people would use me because they've heard of me and they knew I sold dope. And then I got good dope.
Yeah.
So they would
Okay.
just give me places to stay to,
Okay. Yeah. So they got the dope.
yeah.
They got
So
the
and
good
I was
dope.
okay with that, because I would have and it sounded safe.
It made sense.
Yeah, it made sense
Uh-huh.
in that moment.
Yes.
But that was a big mistake.
No.
We got all messed up together and ended up breaking up friends. And she's actually a great person, just lost,
Yeah.
But I do think of her a lot to this day, wanting to reach out to her, but I know I can't. But
Yeah.
I really do care about her, and I hope she finds her way because she was a great person, and I loved her daughters, and I started, and oh, wait a minute, back up. I didn't tell you that I got arrested again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before you
This
moved
was
in with
how I
girl?
went. Yeah. Before
Okay.
I moved in with her. Now I've already met her and I already had plans to move to her house, but I was going to get us a big amount of drugs.
Yeah.
And when I was on my way home, I got pulled over because I thought they saw me. At this point, I was smoking meth.
Okay.
So I was doing that while I was driving.
All right. That doesn't seem like the best idea, but
It wasn't. I'm sorry. That's embarrassing. But that's what I was doing, man. And I thought the cops saw me do that. And I didn't have a license at this time either. And this cop kept pulling me over and giving me breaks. Okay. They knew me by the car. I drove like 5 different people's cars.
Okay.
So they knew each car. So he goes to pull me over and I'm at that point so paranoid. It's all over my face because I thought he saw me hit the pipe.
Yeah.
I didn't know that my front light was out.
Oh,
So
no.
he comes up and he knows. What's wrong? Why do you look like that? Get out of the car. I threw a whole ounce underneath the car.
Okay.
Okay. So I knew it was over. And I had heroin in my pocket.
Oh, God.
So listen to this. So right then I'm like, well, here we go. It's over. So somehow I was handcuffed and I got the heroin out of my pocket
Okay.
and it was raining and I got it down underneath. I don't know how I did all this, but I got it underneath my feet and I just stepped on it so that way the cops wouldn't see it. And
Okay.
they didn't see it because that would have been a whole nother big case.
That would? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
It
I
was
assume
a
so.
couple
I
grams.
assume so.
I mean,
I don't know too
they
much about
hate
drugs
heroin.
and police law.
But they found the ounce.
Okay.
And, I couldn't say nothing, but
All right.
it was mine. They're like, you want to talk? They always ask you if you want to snitch.
Is that what they?
Yeah, and I don't. I'm
It
like,
seems like they probably get a good amount of people that want to snitch.
yeah, I'm sure they
Right?
do.
It
Right.
probably seems to work for them most of the time.
Yeah, probably. But I'm not, because it's
Uh-huh.
too scary to go in that world, and it's just you got to own up and do your
Yeah.
time for what you do. And so I went to jail. Well, I ended up bailing myself out. Everybody thought I was going to be gone. Well, I paid $4,000 and got out.
Okay.
Then I paid $10,000 for an attorney. Well, so 2 years later, oh gosh, so I met another guy. Really bad one this time, worse than any of the others.
Really?
Yeah, your face.
Christina,
I know.
No, I'm just like,
Hey, I told you they were
know
bad.
No,
Yeah,
I appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm just keeping it real
No,
with
and
you.
that's what I want you to do.
And I thought he was great. He was sober. Here we go again.
Okay,
he was sober.
sober.
I was sober. And there we go. It went down.
Yeah.
It's just like I have a big influence. When you're around, when you are a addict or you're trying to get clean, you don't need to get with nobody that's a recovering addict. It's just common logical sense.
I'm currently, I already thought that, but now I'm definitely solidifying it with your
that's
story.
happened 3 times, you know? And that's just in the long-term relationships. I've had a few short ones that ain't even worth talking about.
Yeah.
But, but yeah, we got real bad. And then I ended up going to prison again.
And that's the second. Okay, this is the time that.
Yep, I went to prison. Or, it took me about 2 years because I paid a lot of money for an attorney, and she kept getting it continued. And what I should have done is changed my life.
Yeah.
But what I did instead is caught 2 more cases in 2 more cities.
Oh, gosh.
I went crazy. No, 3 cases. I had a total of 4 cases, all in 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at the bottom, girl.
I
was in the pits of hell, and I was on drugs bad, and I was just committing crime after crime. I just was so sloppy. I kept getting caught with drugs.
Yeah.
Do
you think it's just because you kept getting out of the cases or paying money that you're kind of like, or you think you were just so deep in the addiction?
I was so deep into addiction.
Okay.
I could not get out.
Okay.
It didn't matter. When you're facing a level 2, you should be going to rehab.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be out. I was so lost. I just kept on going. I quit heroin for a little while, but then I went back.
Yeah.
I was gone. There wasn't nothing that was going to stop me, I feel, until I went to prison.
Yeah.
And I did.
You went to prison.
But I paid money for an attorney on another case, got that dropped. Paid money. I spent so much money on these attorneys, the money that I had saved from all the crap I've done.
Yeah.
It's all,
it's all gone. Yeah.
No house, nothing to show for it. But the biggest thing that my life, all that did to me is it broke me. Mentally. It broke my family.
Yeah.
And it broke my little girl.
Yeah.
And she's so broken right now. So broken.
Yeah.
I've been having these episodes with her, and she's just so broken. She doesn't trust people. She don't have friends. She don't know how to make friends. She just so much of what I've done.
Yeah.
And, she still questions, are you going back?
All right.
Are you going to go back to drugs? Are you going to go back to prison? Just today, she was telling me who she wants to live with if I go back to prison.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just...
it's not
I
good
gotta
to
let
hear.
her have it.
But you have to, yeah. But I think, it sounds like you just said.
I just keep telling her I'm not. I'm not.
That's all you can do, and then just continuously prove
keep
it to
showing her.
Yeah.
And that's all I can. And it doesn't affect me as bad as it used to, but it still hits hard.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm like, is she sitting there at school worried? Because, before I've got locked up and not picked her up from school.
Yeah.
So is she sitting at school, this little innocent girl, worried about, is my mommy going to pick me up or not?
All right.
That's what I worry about. Because no kid should have to sit there and think of that.
But the thing is, you also, that's very valid, and that's a thing that she probably might be thinking and stuff, but
She's always stressed out.
yeah.
You know, like she's got stomach pains from stress.
Mhm.
And I know that's all from, you know, it might not all be from me, but a majority of it is.
Yeah, I mean, she's
I
still
mean, she
trying to
don't.
just figure it out, like,
Yeah,
this new
yeah.
life you have, 'cause
I
it's
know.
I mean, like you said, you're only 25 months out?
28.
28, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Out of
still
her whole life, I've been
Yeah.
high, you know.
So I think she's still just I mean, to me, how I interpret it, I'm not a
Yeah,
professional or
yeah.
anything. I mean, she's still just getting
I'm gonna
used to
get
it.
us some help
Yeah.
because it's been getting like a little scary where
Yeah.
I'm just worried about her.
Yeah, it sounds like you need, like, extra I mean,
Yeah,
just I
some
think
therapy.
she's going through it. She has a lot I mean, to me, what I'm thinking is that she has a lot going on.
Yeah, and she doesn't know how to express it,
Mhm.
you know, and I feel like a therapist would help her
Oh,
get
yeah,
it
no
out.
I mean, I
Like
think
we
s
can get therapy together, you know,
Mhm.
because she don't want it by herself. So I'm like, well, why don't we need to get it for our
Right.
relationship? They'll help you because she's scared to tell me certain things. It's just really sad to
Right.
see, you know. But at the same time, that's where that pain for strength comes in.
Mhm.
You know, it gives me the strength to be the mother she deserves,
Yeah.
you know, to make sure I'm always going to be there,
Yeah.
you know. And I can't really tell her that. I don't tell my family that because you know how many times I've said them words to them that are
Right.
probably worthless.
Right.
You know, I just keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And they all see a difference.
They oh, yeah, no,
You know,
definitely.
and I know my daughter sees a difference,
Yeah.
but she just like
She's
one
still
time
sca it still scares
yeah,
her.
yeah, and she has every right. I tell her, "You have every right to be scared,"
Mhm.
you know, but she did kiss me on my forehead not too long ago and told me she's proud of me.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I bet
I
that was
started
just
crying. I
oh,
didn't cry
I'm
in front of her, but I went to the bathroom and she's like,
Alright.
"Are you crying?" She said, "You're such a softie now."
Alright.
I said, "I can't help
So
it."
get used to
I
it,
said, "Girl,
okay?
Jesus got my heart."
Right? And
I'm
you have my heart,
yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
She is my heart.
Right?
I
Oh my
tell her
god.
that. I'm like, "You are my heart," but that's been my story, girl.
Right?
And I went to prison and I got put on the murder dorm.
Why did you get in the murder dorm? Did you try to come at
No,
somebody? Okay.
no. I didn't take it that far.
Okay.
But I did because they were overcrowded.
Okay.
So we got put on it was a dog dorm, so I did get to be around a bunch of cute puppies and doggies.
Why is
They
there
they
the murder dorm
prisoners
is also the dog dorm?
well these are murderers from like 20 most of the murderers there have been there for 20 years.
Oh, okay.
So they're reformed.
Okay, yeah, they're
I
reformed.
mean, you know.
Right? I mean
But they train disability dogs. They
Oh,
train
they do?
yeah.
Okay, so I've
The
heard
men's
of
prison
that.
and this prison and the
Okay.
women's.
So, okay, so I didn't know that. I've
Yeah.
heard of them being trained and
Yeah.
stuff, but I didn't know who was like what kind of inmates.
It was a crazy
Okay.
ride though. And I thank God had me go through the hardest time in prison to show me to never come back.
Mhm.
Cuz it was way different than the last time. It was rough.
Okay.
Real rough. And then that's it. Now I'm, on house arrest and
On house arrest. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
Thank you, parole officer, for letting her
Yes.
be here.
Yeah. Yes. She's great. I mean, they are all so proud of
Right.
me. You know, that's the crazy thing is because this is the first time ever. Like the last time I was on house arrest, the guy was crooked.
Yeah.
As long as I paid him, he let me pee dirty.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Oh no, don't
He let me go to
apologize.
the restroom dirty.
Yeah.
Take a drug screen. He
Yeah,
would
yeah.
let me bring in fake urine.
Yeah. No, I get what you're
For
saying.
2 years.
Wow.
So when everyone thought I was passing my screens and doing great,
Right.
and I got off of house arrest and I got my case closed 5 years early, I was high the whole time. But it's fine.
I mean,
It's what happened, but it
is.
just is like,
there's I
man.
mean, just to remind you, there's
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
bad. I mean, it's just because they're in the job and stuff, we still suffer from sin. And
Yes, we do. And it's good to just walk in there and know I'm telling the truth.
right.
And no, I
bet
don't got to keep
so.
up with the next lie, the past lie, or
Right.
I got to make sure I take this drink to clean out,
Right.
and yeah, that feels great.
All right.
It all feels great. It's just cleaning up the mess that I've caused.
All right.
And it's a mess.
Right. It will take time. But
And
it sounds like you're doing
financially,
this stuff.
it's horrible.
Right.
I mean, girl, it's just, I'm struggling so bad.
Right.
It's not even funny.
Right. But
It's okay. I'm not going to revert to my old ways,
Yeah.
I know that school and it'll all be okay. It'll work out,
mhm,
My church, they help me out a lot.
they do.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh. But We'll get you out in time to get your baby girl. Don't you worry. I'm looking at my clock.
Yeah, your little watch.
I know. See, I told you, I got my little watch. Can't look at my phone.
Yeah, I have some watches too.
I know. Thank you, Amazon, for this. So
I love Amazon.
Oh my God, it's semi-dangerous. Now
It
we're going
is.
to go down the rabbit hole that we got to get you out of here. So we won't talk about that one.
Amazon.
Maybe another time.
Yeah.
But through all this and stuff, what do you have? You've gone through a lot. You've had a lot of pain and you've had a lot of mess. What is your message for people? What have you learned through this? Like, what do you want to tell people?
I just want people to, the one thing is not to lose hope. Like when people are down and they feel there's no way, there is a way. They're in, and yes, I have a good family. So that's what because a lot of people that get out of prison, I try to help them like with clothing and hygiene and stuff. And I tell anyone when I do videos on my Facebook or something, I will help people with resources. I mean, people just can't give up hope. If they don't have a family, there's so many resources out there. Because that's why a lot of girls go back, because they don't have a family, they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They just don't know what to do, and there is a way. There's people you can call, you can Google resources, and I don't know and find Jesus. I mean, Jesus, he's not what people say. He doesn't want you to have fun. Like
it's
people
a different kind of
people
fun.
think, people just think that Jesus is this religious. I don't know. Just they think so wrong.
He's a fun killer.
He is. Yeah,
he's
a fun killer.
He's a fun killer.
Yeah, and he's not.
No.
He's about love, peace, and joy.
Yeah.
Since I've changed my life, I've been through all that, and guess what I have right here? Peace.
Yeah.
I'm at peace. After all that, I have peace.
All right.
That's insane. That can only be Jesus. It can only be God.
Yeah.
For me to have peace after 30 years of trauma.
All right.
And, it's just people need to know. They need to know about them.
All right. They didn't know. And that's why I got you on here. And
yes.
Because I appreciate you talking about this. And even when we started talking about your daughter and stuff, because I feel like people think that, they get delivered from this or they get Jesus and everything's going to be easy.
No, it's
but
not.
It's not.
It's not at all.
It's a struggle every day.
But the good thing is my struggle with the drug is not there.
Yeah.
And when I was struggling with the drugs, it was so dark mentally and hopeless that I'll take any day right now over that, over my best day back then. Because I was just raging, full of rage. I mean, you know how nice I am. Can you imagine me full of rage? That's all.
I don't know. I think you got the potential for it.
Okay,
but you are very nice.
I do.
You have a heart. You have a very loving heart.
Yeah.
Talking to you, I've talked to you a few other times and stuff. But you exude, you give that love.
Yeah, I do. I have
it.
a lot of love.
You do,
and I do struggle with anger from my past and from messing up my life so bad financially and a lot of places do not give you chances with jobs. They do look at my past. I don't even really take interviews because people do judge me. So I that's a hard thing. That'll be the hard thing is when you do change, you do your past gets thrown up at you a lot.
All right.
But you just got to rise above it.
Right. And
keep
know
trying.
who you are.
Yes.
I think so.
And know who you are. And when you have confidence and know who you are, eventually that's why I'm going to school to get a job in the field.
Yeah.
They want you to have experience. So I'm like, okay, I can't get that job. Well, let me go to school to do something that I know they're going to want me to do,
Right.
It's just, there's always a way.
Right. And all the stuff you've gone through, it's not a mistake. It's for you're going to school to help other people and you've been there. So when people, you could be like, there is hope. And I think that's what people need is hope. In this, not even just in the addiction world, but just in life altogether. It's so much hopelessness.
It is hopeless. And even not in the God way, just to have hope in yourself and overcoming things. Like if someone doesn't believe in Jesus, that you should believe in Jesus, but even if you're lost and hopeless, you can find hope within yourself, you know? It's just, and I don't know.
I think it draws people too. You start finding hope in yourself, and
Yeah,
then you
it
start
draws.
it draws to God, because I feel like
Yes, it does.
there is a time when you're like, I can't do this anymore. And I think if you have to just, I mean, also look for the right good people. Like you have to get away from that. And
Yes,
I
you
think once
have
you
to be around
start,
good people.
I think the Lord does that. I think he comes at, he doesn't like come after you, not like an aggressive way, but
Right.
he's with you all the time.
He
And he's
is.
seeking you. Like he's right here.
Yeah, and I didn't tell you, but every time I went to a facility or prison or whatever, there was always somebody beside me that loved Jesus.
All right.
Every single time
All right.
at my lowest, somebody had a Bible open. It was amazing. I mean,
But yeah, I think that's how God works. What
Yeah.
I've heard from other people's stories is like, you honestly, I mean, you need to pray to God, I think, but you don't even have to be like, blah, blah. Just like I was talking to another guest where it was just be like, Lord, help me. Like, it doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be that.
Yeah.
But I think Lord also puts people in your
yes, he
in your
does, to
midst.
draw you closer to him.
To be like, I'm here. I'll
Mhm.
take you as you are.
Yep,
You just have to accept me.
that's right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, girl. Definitely.
All right, we'll get you out of here. But do you have any other thoughts for anybody or anything?
Just don't be hopeless.
Right.
There is hope and you can change. If I can change after 30 years, anything is possible.
All right.
I mean, I never thought I'd be where I am today.
All right.
I mean, literally 2.5 years ago, I was living in the worst areas, out of my mind, and here I am now. I'm on the dean's list. I'm in school. I'm working. I'm being a mother. Like, there is hope. I mean, it's just people don't know who I used to be. It was so bad, so bad. So keep hope.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
you're never too far gone.
Never too far gone.
Never.
I mean, I was on heroin and meth and X and drinking.
And here we are now chatting
yeah,
about it.
chatting about. It's
All right.
amazing. It's
It is.
truly
It
amazing
actually-
grace.
it is.
It's redemption.
It
Yep.
is. It's very
At your
redemptive.
finest.
Uh-huh. It is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Christina, for
No
coming on
problem.
here. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.